Iraqi and Kurdish troops backed by American air power are closing in on the last ISIS stronghold in Iraq. The campaign for the key city of Mosul is moving fast, but ISIS is putting up a fierce fight, setting fire to a sulfur mine, executing dozens of civilians. And our Martha Raddatz is on the front lines with the Secretary of Defense, Ash Carter. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, George. Thousands of Americans are involved in this battle to retake Mosul. Most are on bases, but about 500 are out there assisting the Iraqis, putting their lives on the line. A hard-fought week of territory regained from ISIS.
The largest scale that any army has attack that any army has undertaken since probably our push to Baghdad in 2003.
From front lines west of the Great Zab River and just north at the Kiara military base, 30,000 Kurdish and Iraqi troops moving towards the final prize with the aid of U.S. artillery and airstrikes. But resistance has been fierce. Mortars, automatic weapons, and squads of suicide bombers. Even ISIS armed drones here shot down by Kurdish forces. And visible even from space, bomb craters and the black acrid smoke of war. ISIS blew up oil wells and sulfur stocks at a factory for cover. Air so toxic, some Iraqis donning hazmat gear to keep going. But amid the violence, celebration too. Villagers and victorious Iraqi soldiers marking the end of the terrifying reign of ISIS.
You cannot sleep without fear. You cannot guess when will they take you at night.
Church bells in the village of Bardella outside Mosul rang for the first time since the extremist takeover. It has not come without cost. Dozens of Iraqi forces believed killed this week, and one American, Navy Chief Petty Officer Jason Feenan, hit by an IED, the first U.S. death since the operation began. Secretary of Defense Ash Carter addressing U.S. troops here about the loss.
There is no more serious responsibility for me, and nothing that I take more seriously than putting Americans in harm's way.
There are more than 5,000 U.S. service members in Iraq. 500 are out on the ground with the Iraqis. I sat down with Secretary Carter just a few moments ago here in northern Iraq and asked him about the dangers the Americans are facing.
Make no mistake, whether they're flying airplanes overhead or whether they're advising units on the ground, even behind the front lines, they are at risk. It's also important that everybody understands that we must do this. We have to protect ourselves from ISIL. They intend harm to our country.
How would you assess the progress?
I'm encouraged because it's going according to plan. ISIL will surely be destroyed.
The biggest battle, however, yet to come. The most hardened ISIS fighters, an estimated 5,000, digging in for the last stand in Mosul. It will come at a high human cost, the injured, the dead, and the displaced. This refugee camp outside Mosul, already humming, may face 1 million displaced before this is over. Despite the progress in this first week, retaking Mosul will take many, many months. And the aftermath will be even more complex, something the next president will have to deal with day one in office. George?
This is just the beginning. Okay, Martha, thanks very much. Our Paris Roundtable standing by live. They're up next.